Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Immersive Engineering, the Mixer. So the Mixer is a machine that can be useful on its own, but it is also designed to be used with another machine, that being the Bottler. First and foremost, I'm going to show you how it's made. Obviously it does have some certain requirements here. I will actually open up my book, and you can see here the Mixer is a multi-block structure, dissolves solids in fluids, mixing them together. And your output will also be a fluid, so you're kind of making a solution with this. Therefore, you can make a few different items from this. It's actually not that expensive to make. As you can see, the recipe is here. I am in creative, so I have infinite resources, so that's why everything isn't checkmarked. But it's a really basic design. I'll show you here. You, of course, start off with just an L shape of steel scaffolding. Just on the inside of that, you're going to have some fluid pipe and then a dot of light engineering block, just a dot. And then you're going to want to expand on that light engineering block a little bit more here, and then you're going to want to put down 4 pieces of iron sheet metal. Take another one of those light engineering blocks, put it right on top. Then you're going to want to get some steel fence here, put that over on the side, and a redstone engineering block on the side. Take your engineer's hammer, whack it right in the middle with a right click, and you get yourself a mixer. And you can see here it accepts a certain amount of energy. Lucky for just about everybody that the energy amount that it requires is relatively small, actually, and I found that LV cables work really well with this. So allow me to actually grab some of this here, grab one of these here. I do have a creative capacitor, so obviously that's a little bit of something to take into account here. But if you look here, this is just a low voltage wire, and it should, there it goes, it fills up relatively quickly, and it actually will not outperform the amount that the wire gets from this. So therefore, if you've got maximum outage or voltage on your low voltage wire, you should be good to go either way. And of course, you can put your lever here, which I actually do recommend you put that on there, because you never know when you're going to want this thing to stop. So it has some inputs and outputs. On the front is an output, a liquid output. So therefore, you're probably going to want some kind of metal barrel or some kind of tank or something like that in order to pipe that into, or other storage reservoir. Now the inputs, there are 3 on the back. There's one for liquids to go in, and then there's 2 for items to go in. And of course, I recommend you can always, as with most things here, you can put some of the conveyor belts here on the back as you see fit, and then you can always toss the items that you want inside. Now you cannot toss a bucket of like, let's toss a bucket of water. See, it doesn't want to go in. And even if I right click on here, you see the user interface here. If I put the water in there, it's not going to fill the tank in the middle like that. That's what these, whoops, I just got sucked up by the conveyor belt. That's what this side one is for. So therefore, if you have some kind of piping going on in there, let me grab a metal barrel, put that down, put down a little bit of a fluid pipe on top. And this is currently saying input, so I'm going to change that to say output. Therefore, it will drain into it. Put that down and it hooks in place. Now, if you get confused with the inputs back here, if I try putting down a bit of pipe next to this, you see it won't connect. So therefore, you know that this is for solids. And this one here is for liquids. Now, with that, you see here, this is where the liquids get stored. This is where the solids get processed. And then you'll actually have the result will be at the bottom here. I recommend that you try to only mix one thing at a time. Don't try to mix multiple things, because if for some reason they may have different circumstances, then you could end up with different results intermixed in there. And then you'll have to drain them out one at a time by whatever's on the bottom. It will have to come out first. So therefore, you could have some mixed results. Now, here's something you should also know, is that if you just hook up some fluid pipes to this mixer here, and I take, let's say, a bucket of water, plain old bucket of water, I put it in this metal barrel. Right now, I'm going to actually turn it off so it doesn't go in. So there you go, 1 bucket of water in there. Nothing inside, right? And then there is nothing here. It says empty as well. Now, if I turn this bucket to say, to accept the liquid going out, there we go. You see now that the water is there we go. Sorry, didn't click right. There we go. And now where is it? Well, it flowed straight out, as you can see right there. So therefore, you're probably not going to want to just directly pipe it out as you're piping the liquids in. You're going to want to have some kind of stalling mechanism on there. And in this case, it's going to be be me just not hooking up the output yet until I'm ready for it to go out. And clicking the lever won't actually change anything. It'll just stop this from actually working. So let's start off by putting in a little bit of water. And you can see here it actually fills up, and it'll hold up to 8 buckets worth of some kind of liquid. You can put in other ingredients and stuff in order to mix them together to make another liquid result. And in this case, what I just put in there, a light engineering block and grass block plus water, is not going to equal anything. It's just going to equal water in the tank. But does actually register up here, or render rather, up in the tank, which is totally awesome. I absolutely love it. But you're going to want to follow specific recipes. Now this does work with some other mods, so I'm not covering all the recipes from other mods, but I will toss one in there just to show you guys how it works. Now, of course, this is just how the entire thing looks like when it's fully assembled, so I'm just going to move on from that. But this one here is currently hooked up with water and liquid concrete, which is a new liquid that turns into a solid in Immersive Engineering. Now, if you want to know the recipe for that, currently it is sand, and I just have 16 of each. You don't have to have 16 of each, but at least 2 sand to every 1 clay and 1 gravel. So therefore, you're going to want 4 total pieces going in there, plus some water inside should get you the results that you're looking for. Now currently, I'm going to turn it off. This conveyor is still on. So therefore, I'm going to take a couple sand here, 1, 2, 1 gravel and 1 clay. And you can see currently inside we have 1,500 millibuckets of liquid concrete. Now if I take the sand, put it over here, put the gravel, still nothing happening, right? Now I put the clay in there, and still nothing happening. That's because I have to flick the switch. Click the switch. You can see that there are now these little like meters on the side. Of course, I have the one probe working in the corner here also telling me the progress, but this pretty much tells it how it is as well. And you can see that it is slowly converting the water plus all these items into a liquid concrete. Once that reaches 100%, these items will be used up, and you will have probably half bucket or a bucket. I think it's just a half bucket. Yep, just a half bucket of liquid concrete. So you'll need to use 2 of those recipes in order, plus 2 buckets of water in order to get the total amount that you're looking for to get 1 bucket of concrete. Now, concrete is very powerful stuff. It can be very destructive. It can be very useful. If you want to cover a large area with a lot of slabs of concrete, then you can do so. But you also have to be very cautious. I will show you why. Here, let me pour some of this here, and you can see this is liquid concrete. It's a little slow. It's like kind of in between water and lava as far as speed goes. But it's very dangerous because you can see, oh, look, it's starting to dry. And it dries in most of the time half slabs. But if you have like a full space, it's kind of hovering there long enough with a full enough amount, like if I just do like this, I just pour one in there, that's going to turn into a whole block. But all this is just going to constantly keep pouring down. And you see how it's just still going. It dries as it goes, and it actually is clearing out all the grass, but it's also going into the water. And you'd think, all right, well, it's just going to stop there. It might stop there. It might, here we go, it might continue down as well because, well, it hit the water, so it's going to get a refresher for just constantly going. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but currently the concrete is now covering the entire riverbed floor, which is rather messy. But if you get one of these in a contained area, like, oops, I just kind of like messed that up a little bit too. I've got this all over the base now, or at least the display area. If you put this in a contained area, you can therefore very well, use this just 1 bucket or so in order to fill a really large area. Let's do this, for instance. I'm just going to pour a bucket here, and then it spreads out, fills the area up, and then you just give it a few seconds and it will then cool. So if you just outline an area with some blocks, then you pour down like a bucket of concrete, you could easily get yourself, depending on how close or how far it is. Now these ones formed full blocks because it didn't spread out that far, but that was just 1 bucket. I mean, and you saw how many slabs came out of 1 bucket from this other one. It can be very, very productive for making concrete. If ever you have the desire, that's probably the way to go. But that's not all you can make out of this. Now, of course, as I was showing you before, the recipe in here, if you have two sand plus a gravel and a bucket of molten clay, which of course is not a standard liquid for immersive engineering. It's part of another mod, but it works with it and will create the same exact thing. Basically liquid concrete bucket with a different ingredient set. So instead of clay, you're using molten clay. It's basically all the difference is there. And of course you don't have water because the clay is molten, which is kind of like a clay and a water mix. Now, among other things. But there are other uses for the mixer, and that is the interesting part here. Now, I should have started this off with this, so let's actually get a bit. I'm probably going to do a little fast forward on this, but I've got 1 bucket of water in here. Let's actually turn this on. There we go. Actually, that's not it. That's not it. I forgot. I need to use the hammer on the barrel. There we go. Still not right. There we go. And the water comes in. Actually, I've got a little bit more than that. I think I had some left over from my previous run around with this. But that doesn't really make a difference. Let me toss in some nether wart, and you can see that it's actually progressing. What's it making with this? Well, it currently is dropping the water level and increasing awkward potion level. Now, currently, you may also see that the awkward potion is slowly getting up there, but the texture, it's just a kind of a missing texture thing for liquids. Don't worry about that. That's just a little glitch. But as this progresses and it gets up to the higher level, then I can add in more ingredients. Hold on a second. There we go, 1000. We now have 1 bucket of awkward potion and put in a rabbit's foot, which then is going to process again. Now, if I were to have multiple buckets worth of water in here, and I were to have this processing with multiple things like a rabbit's foot and also some nether wart and redstone, you know, to try and make a very long lasting speed potion, or rather jumping potion, it would actually potentially have some difficulties because it might try processing multiple things at once. Therefore, like the awkward potion might also turn into a mundane potion and a jumping potion at the same time. You might get like split results. So this is why you want to have the ingredients added in separately, one at a time, so that you can get the best effect out of it instead of accidentally getting mixed potion results that you might not even want the remainder of. Now, of course, I've got a potion of leaping, and yes, I can actually modify that a step further. I could put in some redstone, or I could put in, let's put in some glowstone here. There we go, and this should make it a jump boost 2 potion. It, of course, will take a little bit of time. You can see that it is mixing in the top here, which is, I really like the animations in immersive engineering. It's just really nice to see the little extra detail of things that are moving in this. But you can see here it's progressing along, and I'll be back once it's completed. And here we go, the final result, Jump Boost 2 potion. I could put in some redstone. It's not really going to do anything because it doesn't lengthen like that, but you can get a Jump Boost 2 potion. And you're like, all right, well, I've got a bucket of potion of leaping 2. So how do I get out of there? Same as you would any other liquid. You just kind of pipe it out. And then you see here, potion of leaping, 1 bucket. And this is where the bottler comes in. And I'm not going to be covering that today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video about the mixer on immersive engineering. I recommend you check out some of the other videos that we have on this wonderful, wonderful mod that is currently for 110 and soon to be on 111. Minecraft. So don't forget to give a like, comment below if you have anything to say, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to spread the mischief with others if you think they'll enjoy this content too. Until next time, folks, I'll see ya.